is TV6 News at 10.
It is election night in America. Good evening. I'm Sharon DeReek.
And I'm Gary Mativier. A big battle as you've seen it playing out tonight on NBC on the national stage, along with some contentious races in our area as well.
Yeah, we are bringing you full coverage from across the QCA. Our crews are spread out across the region. We'll be checking in with each of them tonight as we continue to see those results come in. We're going to start with a look at some of these local races that we've been following.
Illinois 71st District, Mike Smitty, the incumbent there, versus Tony McCombie, the newcomer. The Republicans trying to win this seat. Illinois 72nd District, Mike Halpin and Brandon McGuire. That race pretty tight as well, although it looks like he may hold on.
And here's another race from Iowa Senate District 46. Mark Lofgren right now leading Chris Brace, the incumbent, 52 to 48%. Chuck
Grassley now the projected winner in the Iowa U.S. Senate over Patty Judge. And Illinois U.S. Senator Mark Kirk, the incumbent, has lost tonight to Democrat Tammy Duckworth.
And if we could advance past those, let's check out the Illinois 17th Congressional District. That is where Sherry Bustos, the incumbent from our area, her opponent Patrick Harlan. Bustos declared the winner almost immediately after those polls closed. 62% of the votes tonight going to her.
We'll hear from her in a moment. Iowa's 2nd Congressional District, Dave Loebsack, so far with a substantial lead over Christopher Peters.
Now let's check out the numbers for Illinois Comptroller. Lots of ads between the two of them and on this race. And right now it looks like Susana Mendoza might take that about 78% of the vote in. Leslie Munger, of course, was put into that office after the death of the previous comptroller.
The big story perhaps tonight so far, Tony McCombie, the former mayor of Savannah, Illinois, the Republican challenging incumbent Mike Smitty in the race for Illinois 71st District. As you saw, the numbers pretty strong. The reaction from Savannah now.
Yeah, let's go there right now to our reporter who is live on scene. This is, we have that live shot? Yes, we do. Here's Gabriella Rusk live at, I'm sure, a very happy Tony McCombie party tonight.
Gary, Sharon, the crowds here have thinned out a little bit, but that doesn't mean that they haven't been happy all night. In fact, when we had our numbers come up on the screen, the entire crowd cheered when they saw that 61%. Now, I just spoke with the campaign manager, and she said that they're waiting to make a final decision before they get up and give what would give an acceptance speech. She says that Rock Island County only has 70% of those votes that have come in, so she wants to wait until all of those votes come in before they get up and talk. And also, Whiteside County has a lot of absentee ballots, so they want to make sure all of those votes are counted before they give an acceptance speech. Now, Tony McCombie has only taken the stage once time tonight, and that was when it was said that she won 100% of Carroll County. She stood up and she said, well, Savannah is my home, and she thanked voters and gave many cheers to all of them that were here tonight. And when she gets up on that stage later tonight, whether it be an acceptance speech or another speech, then we'll make sure to have all that coverage for you live here in Savannah. Reporting from Savannah, Gabriella Rusk, KWQC TV6 News.
Gabriella, thank you. Of course, this is a key race because the Republicans were putting a lot of money into a couple races in our area, trying to take away some of the supermajority that the Democrats have in the legislature in Illinois right now. The challenger in this race is Democrat Mike Smitty in Rock Island tonight, currently representing that district.
Yes, he is the incumbent in that race, and this has been a very hotly contested race. A lot of negative ads on both sides. Let's go to James Stratton now, following all the action with the Rock Island County Democrats Watch Party. James?
Sharon, Gary, good evening. We'll talk about Mike Smitty as well as Mike Halpin in a little bit. We heard from Mike Halpin earlier, but the woman of the night so far just gave her acceptance speech as Congresswoman Sherry Bustos. How's it feel to get reelected?
It's an honor that voters in this very, very tough election cycle would have believed in me enough to reelect me. So it's a great feeling.
Second term around, what are your priorities? What are your goals?
I'll keep focusing on jobs, the economy, make sure that our kids have an opportunity for a better life ahead, and just keep fighting every day for the people who are in the 17th Congressional District of Illinois.
As you've spoken to people here, it's kind of a lively crowd. What's the reaction? What's the feeling in here?
Well, you know, there's a lot that's up in the air right now. I wish we had a little more clarity on what's happening on the presidential race, very, very pleased that Tammy Duckworth will be our next U.S. Senator. I think she's going to be an absolutely terrific representative for the state of Illinois. She and I were elected at the same time, so she's a very close friend of mine, and I think we're going to be very pleased with our representation there.
How closely are you watching the presidential race now as we race to 270?
I'm watching it very, very closely. I think our nation has a lot at stake here. There was a very clear choice when people went to the polls, and I'm hoping that Hillary Clinton will be our next president, and I hope she'll be not only our first female president, but somebody who's going to start heading our country in a direction that's helpful.
Okay. Congresswoman, thank you. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Guys, we'll also be following the Mike Smitty. Mike Smitty is also here, as well as Mike Halpin, so we'll be hearing from both from them throughout the 10 o'clock news tonight, but I'm going to send it back to you for now.
All right, and let's go ahead and take a look at some of those numbers that James was just talking about. This is the Mike Halpin, Brandy McGuire race. This is a race where neither person is an incumbent. Pat Verschoor, who has been in that seat for a long time, has decided to retire. So these two are vying for that seat. And right now, Halpin has a pretty substantial lead. But again, not even 30% of the votes have been counted yet.
That said, we heard from him within the past hour and giving what it sounded like a victory speech tonight. So Mike Halpin believes at least that he is on the path to victory.
Yeah, but McGuire is not giving up. She's saying she's still going to fight, and hopefully the numbers will switch in her favor. Let's go now to KWQC's Emma Hogue, who is with McGuire at her event, also in Rock Island County.
Good evening, Sharon. I'm here in a room packed full of Rock Island County Republicans. Now, despite some of the current numbers, the crowd here has been cheering and chanting all night as we await election results for the Illinois House District 72 seat. Now, just minutes ago, data shows their candidate, Brandy McGuire, as you mentioned, is down 15 points to her Democratic opponent, Mike Halpin. Now, both of these candidates are running to replace Pat Verschoor, who is retiring after 13 years. Now, although McGuire is down, supporters here do say that they are hopeful that she will emerge the winner. And Gary and Sharon, we are learning new numbers minute by minute, and we'll continue to bring you that information as soon as it becomes available. But for now, we're live in Moline. Emma Hogue, KWQC TV 6 News.
All right, Emma, thank you.
Now to Iowa. We talked about this. We have Democrat Chris Braze, Republican Mark Lofgren. That's another big race in our area. They're running for the Iowa State Senate and overall control, perhaps. If the Republicans could get the Senate, they would also have the House and, of course, the governorship.
Yeah, and right now, Lofgren, who is the challenger in this race, is ahead. But again, this is so early in this race, only 3% reporting. We do have our Ashley Davis in Muscatine, where both candidates are from. She joins us now live with the early reaction to these numbers.
Good evening, Gary and Sharon. Right now, we're in Muscatine for the Iowa State Senate. And Mark Lofgren. Now, right now, we are in the home of Mark Lofgren. He is watching results come in with his family, and he is leading all 14 of 14 precincts here in Muscatine. 4,089 votes counted right here over Chris Brace's 2,612. Now, we will continue to bring you all the votes that are coming in minute by minute, as Emma said. All tonight, we're reporting live in Muscatine. Ashley Davis, KWQC, TV 6 News.
Lofgren, a former Republican member of the Iowa House of Representatives. And again, here are the latest numbers right now, and only about 3% reporting so far.
And of course, the Iowa polls just closed a little over an hour ago, so some of those are still trickling in. We do expect a lot more of those numbers to come in throughout the 10 o'clock news.
Now let's turn our attention to the U.S. Senate. In Iowa, incumbent Senator Charles Grassley, a longtime Republican, running against former Iowa Lieutenant Governor Patty Judge, and here are the numbers so far.
Yeah, it looks like Grassley has been declared the winner. About a 12-point victory, which actually some polls had him up as many as 18 points, so perhaps a little bit closer than anyone predicted there.
But he never really was behind and was expected to hold that seat tonight. In Illinois, Democratic Representative Tammy Duckworth, the projected winner tonight, beating out the incumbent here. Another race that was expected to go down, this one a Republican loss, as Mark Kirk is out tonight. Now with only 30% of the vote with the precincts there, but Tammy Duckworth already declared the winner.
And this was a big race for the Democrats nationally to pick up a Senate seat, as they are trying to take control, or at least tie control, of the U.S. Senate in favor of the Democrats.
And many of the experts have already checked that, pretty much, if you will, in with the Democrats. So that wasn't a big surprise tonight, but it is a loss for an incumbent. Mark Kirk is out.
All right, let's go to Bailey Dietz now, who has been following both these Senate races throughout the evening. She joins us now live from our newsroom with reaction.
Right now, starting with Iowa, not long after the polls closed at 9 o'clock, the Associated Press called the race for the U.S. Senate, naming Republican incumbent Chuck Grassley, as we have said, as the winner over Democrat Patty Judge. That means a 7th term for Chuck Grassley. Now, he had been expected to win, as we've said, with polls before today showing a double-digit lead, even though Democrats thought that anger over the lack of hearings for a Supreme Court nominee might help them beat Grassley. Tonight, he is in Des Moines with a gathering of constituents.
Regardless of which political party is going to control the United States Senate, regardless of who is going to be president, regardless, I will operate in the same way I always have operated, in the best interest of all of you and 3 million Iowans.
And again, as for the U.S. Senate race in Illinois, Democrat Tammy Duckworth is accepting a victory tonight over Mark Kirk, who was the incumbent in that race. Surrounded by a large crowd in Chicago, Duckworth talked about her time in the Iraq War and how she's very excited to get started in the Senate.
Has drawn to an end. The real work of securing the blessings of liberty for ourselves and for all of our children and grandchildren continues. That's why I'm so proud of this campaign and so excited to get to work.
This race, of course, very high profile, with the Democrats trying to reclaim as many Senate seats as they could. Mark Kirk had been trailing in the polls coming into today. We did hear from him earlier tonight. He spoke to a group of people in Chicago as he congratulated Duckworth on her victory. In the newsroom, Bailey Dietz, KWQC, TV6 News.
All right, we're going to go back to Savannah right now, where we are told Tony McCombie is speaking.
Yeah, Gabriella Rusk is there right now. Let's go and check in, see what's happening.
Is a great place to live and work. And you have my pledge that I will work with Republicans, Democrats, and the best of Republicrats to make our district and our state a better place to live. I've said all along that I promise that I'll work to bring financial sanity to Savannah, we've already done that, to the state of Illinois, and I will do that. I promise you that. I will work hard with both sides, and I will help us send a message that Illinois is open for business and that we will bring back jobs. We will bring a boost to our economy. With all that work, we'll be able to fund our schools, and we will be able to fund our most vulnerable. And most importantly, you have my pledge and my promise that I will work every day for you and everybody who's watching this today and who's voted for us and who did not vote for us. I will continue to work for you and with you to build us up and make this a better place. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming.
Tony McCombie, the victory speech tonight, the Republican winning that key seat. We'll see what it means later this evening, perhaps, in terms of who has the supermajority, whether Democrats still hold that in the Illinois legislature.
All right, we are getting some more results in from Iowa as we speak, so let's go ahead and check out some of those tonight. Incumbent Democrat Dave Loebsack and Republican challenger Dr. Christopher Peters vying for Iowa's 2nd Congressional District. Loebsack been in office for several terms now, and it looks like he will be in there for one more.
And Illinois Comptroller, as we mentioned earlier, this was a tight race, and it looks to still be tight tonight. At this point, Mendoza has a lead with 79% reporting. Rock Island County voters weighing in also on a number of tax measures that mean a big difference to your pocketbook.
Yeah, one of those includes a 1% sales tax increase to benefit local schools. Currently, let's take a look at those results and see what they are showing. I'm not sure if we have those. Instead, oh, there they are, right there. Looks like, yes, it might have passed in Rock Island County. This has been on the ballot a number of times in the past, and every single time it has failed, although this time it looks like with 53% of voters saying that they are approving that sales tax to benefit schools. Our Mark Stevens is live in the newsroom with reaction on this tonight.
Guys, school administrators remain cautiously optimistic that the decision to run this question during a presidential year was the magic bullet to get this sales tax passed in Rock Island County for schools. This is, of course, the fourth time voters have been asked to weigh in on a school sales tax. The last time was in April of last year, and it missed by 119 votes. When we looked at those results precinct by precinct, the measure lost because precincts with higher no votes simply just edged out the precincts with higher yes votes. Now, if it ultimately passes tonight, Rock Island Milan Schools expects to receive $3 million in sales tax dollars for building and maintenance projects. That's all the law allows. However, it still can use some of that money to knock down a 5-cent property tax, and Superintendent Michael Oberhaus says that would mean that property taxes could go down.
Ultimately, property taxes will go down if they pass the 1% for sales tax for school facilities, because we're paying for the school facilities right now through property taxes.
Now, Rock Island County is one of the last Illinois counties that does not have this type of tax. If it passes tonight, the superintendents think they'll be able to do a lot of overdue maintenance on their projects in the school districts. Live in the newsroom, Mark Stevens, KWQC, TV6 News.
All right, Mark, thank you.
All right, Rock Island County voters also weighing in on a proposed 0.5% sales tax increase to help fund updates to the county's emergency communication system.
They've been talking about their radios out of date and not having enough patrol people out there. They're asking for an additional 50 cents in sales tax for every $100 spent. Let's take the results. All this has gone down tonight. Overwhelmingly, Rock Island County says no to that public safety tax question.
All right, let's go back to James Stratton, who is at the Democratic Party, where the sheriff of Rock Island County is also tonight. James, some reaction to this. The Sheriff's Department coming out vocally last week saying how vital this tax was to help their department.
They did, Sharon. Good evening. And actually, I spoke with a couple sheriff's officers earlier tonight. They were obviously hopeful that that would pass. And you just saw the numbers. That's with about 72% reporting. I have the numbers directly in front of me. About 58% no on that. So we're going to hopefully talk with Sheriff Bustos here throughout. Actually, he's right here if you would like to talk to him. Sheriff Bustos is going to join us right now here live on TV6. Come on over, Sheriff. Hi there, James Stratton from TV6. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
What's your overall reaction so far tonight with your proposed tax increase?
Well, it's certainly the way the numbers look right now, it doesn't look like we're going to be successful, but we'll certainly wait till all the votes are counted. But right now it doesn't look that good, so we'll just have to wait and see.
If it doesn't pass, what does that mean for Rock Island County? What does it mean for you guys?
Well, if it doesn't pass, I can tell you that the things that we'll need tomorrow were the same things that we needed yesterday. So we will certainly do what's necessary to continue to move the sheriff's office forward and do the best we can.
Would we then try to find that money elsewhere?
Well, certainly I'm going to be talking to the county board and asking them where they're going to be able to fund the things that we need. So that's certainly a decision that they're going to have to make.
Okay, thanks for joining us so quickly on TV6
no
Live. Thank you, Sheriff. That is currently a no vote with about 72% in, 58% no on that. So we're going to hear from more Democrats here throughout the night tonight from the Rock Island Holiday Inn. Reporting live in Rock Island, I'm James Stratton, KWQC TV6 News.
All right, James, thank you. And Henry County voters also weighing in on a public safety sales tax on their ballots tonight. Here's a look at those latest results. And again, this looks like it's not a popular vote no matter what county you are in, because it also looks like it probably, well, this race has been called. 52% say no, they do not want to pay an extra tax increase right there in Henry County.
Yeah, it's been so hard to get some of these measures passed. Many of them have been on the ballots several times, but this one as well going down tonight.
Yeah, voters in Henry County, Illinois also saying no to the consolidation of 2 local school districts.
Now see, this measure would have joined actually the Kewanee and Weathersfield districts together. Take a look at the numbers, and at this point the numbers reflect here, yes, 67% on consolidation to 33% saying no. KWQC's Bethany Dell brings us up to date as what is happening in this contest.
I'm here in Kewanee, and I have the latest for you on the consolidation vote between Weathersfield and Kewanee. Now, in order for this to pass, both townships had to have a majority vote for consolidation. Now the results are in, and I'm taking a look at them, and it looks like the township of Kewanee passes it, but Weathersfield does not. So it looks like more than half of the votes in Weathersfield were against consolidation. Now those numbers are 1,364 voting no and 614 voting yes in the Weathersfield township. Now in Kewanee, 2,308 voted for consolidation and 1,117 voted no. But because it was not half or more than half of voters in Wethersfield approving to have consolidation, it does not pass. Only passes for Kewanee. But because it had to pass in both, the consolidation vote does not pass, period. So the schools will stay separate and not consolidate, at least not now. It could happen again in the future, but for now, no consolidation. Reporting in Kewanee, Bethany Dell, KWQC TV6 News.
Bethany, thank you for clearing that up, because the graphic, of course, said yes, it did pass, and indeed it did in one area. The consolidation issues are so hard to decide. It comes down to population basis. And apparently one side said yes, one said no. So at this point, no school consolidation there.
Two separate schools will remain. All right, now in Scott County, voters choosing a new sheriff tonight and a place on the Board of Supervisors.
Let's take a look at some of those numbers. Board of Supervisors. It appears Democrats Scott Tunnicliffe and Jane Duax and Republicans Tony Knoby and Ken Beck are battling for 2 spots in the Scott County Board of Supervisors here. And here are the numbers we have. Again, these are not final as of yet. But in this race, Tony Knoby with a lead over Jane Duax. But again, some of these people go on and some don't. It gets a little confusing on some of this.
Yeah, there should be a second page to
yes,
that.
There should be. We'll check that a little bit later and, of course, have all that on our website. Scott County Sheriff Tim Lane now the projected winner over Peter Bowden in this race, 56% to 44%. Tim Lane, the new sheriff of Scott County. Dennis Conard has now retired after many years serving our community. KWQC's Shelby Shepard is live tonight to clear up some of these contests for us and give us the latest information. Shelby?
Gary and Sharon, I am here at Jersey Grill in Davenport, where there are plenty of Scott County Republicans here watching the results as they come in. You can see that right behind me here. We have Tim Lane and Ken Beck are both here at Jersey Grill tonight, and they're all still anxiously awaiting results. Now, we haven't been able to talk to either of them at this point, but Tim Lane has walked by and said he's very excited about the results so far. So we are hoping to catch up with them at some point. Now, as I last looked at it, and I couldn't really hear you guys that well, but I saw 40% of precincts were reporting. So we'll continue to watch those as the results continue to come in, and we will update you and hopefully be able to talk with Tim Lane in a few minutes. Reporting live in Davenport, Shelby Shepard, KWQC TV6 News.
All right, let's try to get some clarification on the Scott County Board of Supervisors numbers. Let's put those back up again. We believe we have a couple of screens here. Tony Knoby with 27%, Jane Duax with 25%, and there is the second page we were looking for.
Yeah, there were 4 people running for 2 spots on the County Board of Supervisors. So if they stay as it is right there, Knoby and Duax would be the 2 that would be on the Scott County Board.
So we'll see as those numbers continue. That race has yet to be called. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with more election coverage here on TV6. Dr. Christopher Witt, our political analyst, has been with us all night long. You have a couple points to make, and beginning right here with Illinois and some of what you are seeing in this state tonight.
When we take a look at both Tony McCombie in her race, coming in as one of the people on the, I guess, the edges of the Quad Cities, and just seeing that we have some diversity in party as well as location, we're seeing that the Quad Cities really is becoming more of a region where it's not dominated by people of one party and one part of the area. So with the regional vision and a number of other things, some of these races really play out and show that people have a voice no matter where they are in the Quad Cities.
And in 30 seconds or less, give me a take on the presidential path.
Everybody needs to take a look at how the path for Trump and the path for Clinton are much different because of what's happened with Florida and North Carolina. Some of the predicted things that were going to happen didn't happen. So now Trump has multiple ways to win, and Clinton's trying to defend herself.
We'll see what happens perhaps in the next few hours. Dr. Witt, thank you. We'll be right back.
All right, we're back. A nice sunny day, but those clear skies starting to let things cool off pretty quickly now. A couple of exceptions to temperatures that are mostly in the 40s. We've got 50 in the Quad Cities and Iowa City, now 39 in Monticello, and just about to get into the 30s in Kewanee and Galesburg, both at 40 degrees. So tonight, we'll find our way back to the middle 30s, clear and chilly, a little bit of a north breeze. 58 tomorrow, sunny, cooler than today, but still that is above average. And check out the 7-day forecast. Plenty of sun right on through the weekend into early next week. 64 Thursday, we'll see 50s into the weekend. That is your latest forecast. Back with more election coverage after this.
Results continue to come in. Check our website, kwqc.com, for the latest.
On behalf of the TV6 News team, thank you. Good night.